off and away. So we're just going to leave that with the legacy of Undertaker and Goldberg and this really uneventful event called Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. But and some of those results did reflect what's coming up in 2 weeks, I believe, on what is it, June 23rd, and from Tacoma, Washington, at the Tacoma Dome, and they're going to be presenting Stomping Ground. We'll do a actual preview and predictions as it gets closer to that. But currently, there are 6 matches announced. Tony Nese is going to defend the Cruiserweight Championship against the opponent yet to be determined. Kofi Kingston's defending against Dolph Ziggler in a cage match, and that's going to be for the WWE Championship. Seth Rollins is once again taking on Baron Corbin for the Universal Championship, and there's going to be a special guest referee appointed. Becky Lynch is going against Lacey Evans in a rematch for the Raw Women's Championship. Roman Reigns taking on Drew McIntyre, and Bayley's defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against a Raw competitor, Alexa Bliss. Sounds kind of odd that they have to have somebody from Raw challenge for the SmackDown title. Meanwhile, you have people like Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose and a couple others that could very well step up to go against Bayley. Thoughts on that?
It's tough knowing that SummerSlam is right around the corner, and this is what they're presenting on pay-per-view right now. The only thing I can positively say is the fact is it's June. SummerSlam's not till August. So hopefully they, my grandmother used to say, gets their ducks in a row, so to speak. But the thought of Baron Corbin in any kind of main event kind of upsets me. And I will be that one idiot fan getting kicked out of Scotiabank Arena because I'm tossing water bottles from my seats at Corbin. But it's, I don't know, SummerSlam, they have the ability to make or break their promotion as far as, like I said, going forward to October on Fox and their new deal with USA Network as far as Raw goes. But man, Corbin's one of the main reasons I turned Raw off on Monday nights. I'll put it on mute. And anyways, not looking forward to what's this thing called? Stampede or
Stomping Grounds.
Stomping Grounds.
Which I've seen a report from numerous sources, including WrestleZone, that apparently ticket sales are very dismal for this event. And whether it's the name on it or the short notice, because it was supposed to be Backlash later on in the month, like at least a week later. So Stomping Grounds was announced very short notice, I guess. And once again, Baron Corbin could be another reason why people are staying away from the same drivel all the time.
I'll tell you this. I didn't mind the idiot when he was long haired on SmackDown with the U.S. title. Okay, that gimmick wasn't that bad at all. But as soon as he turned into this corporate Kane-like figure, man, it's a waste of television time. They've got one of the problems is about WWE right now, and this is all across the board. I'm not talking NXT or NXT UK, but I'm talking WWE. They have so much talent in that promotion, and they are not using it. They've got guys like EC3 and the Viking Raiders or Warriors or whatever the hell you want to call them not being used right now, but yet you get Baron Corbin on TV every freaking week. And man, it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon.
Yeah, like I saw a video somebody posted even about EC3, who's been somewhat regulated to main event. And compared to his entrance that he used in NXT, which is the same thing, just a change in color, I think, from yellow graphics to red graphics. The smile on his face is totally wiped off in comparing the two entrances to each other. And, he got brought over because he proved that he could be that sort of main eventer and next superstar after he left TNA or Impact, but then he gets brought up to the main roster from NXT and he's crapped on, as are a lot of people that leave NXT for the main roster.
So here's the 5 second what makes sense about this whole equation. Triple H runs NXT. NXT guys go to WWE, and WWE, like you said, it's a one-man audience. So there's pretty much it right there.
Pretty sad.
I mean, if Vince isn't behind you, you're toast. It doesn't matter how big your gimmick was down at NXT. Case in point, Johnny Gargano.
Yep. They didn't know what to do with him, and thankfully Triple H was able to keep him back down on NXT, and he got that championship. Now I know that he has some knee issues going on, but hopefully we're going to see in Toronto the rubber match between Cole and Gargano, and that'll be worth the ticket.
There's more hype online right now as far as Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream goes than the whole Saudi show.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Here's a guy that went WWE. They put him in a tag team with Fandango, sent him back down to NXT, and that match has more hype than a whole friggin' pay-per-view that took place last Friday or whatever the hell it was.
Yep.
You ever see that picture or that clip of The Simpsons and Grandpa Simpson sitting there shaking his fist at a cloud?
No.
Okay, well anyway, that cloud is WWE, and that's probably a couple million wrestling fans right now. Man, it's sad because the same company that made me a wrestling fan back in the day, and that company site I was talking about earlier, Fightful, asked what was the first wrestling show you ever attended on their Facebook. And to me, it was New Haven, Connecticut in 86, 87. And I remember some of the guys that were part of the promotion back then. And this was before the whole Randy Savage winning the tournament at WrestleMania 4. But to know how stale the products have gotten, it's it to me, it sucks ass.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate thing about it being also very oversaturated. So we're not getting anything fresh, and it's all just being recycled. Then, once again, Aftermath, they talked about Baron Corbin. They actually praised Baron Corbin. I must say, I was kind of surprised and nearly spit out my water when I heard them talking about that. But I can kind of see it because he is still green, and that's probably why we don't like him in the way the character's being portrayed. But they see a lot of good things coming in the future for him. But they also said he might have only had about 2,000 matches so far in his career, and the sky's the limit for him. And then somebody,
I was just gonna say, how far did what the hell's this Matt Morgan go?
not very far.
Yeah, there's a guy who had potential height, moves, build, more impressive than Corbin, and he went down to TNA and kind of died down there. So
Exactly.
have to just disagree with the Aftermath guys.
Yeah. Well, to conclude what those said, which was also kind of a zinger on what the situation of the current product is, they praised him for everything he's done and only having about 2,000 matches. And I think Nug said, but 1,500 of those matches have been against Seth Rollins. So you need to mix things up a bit and not have things as stale as they are.
Following the news that the former hottest free agent in pro wrestling, Kenny Omega, is joining AEW, London Comic Con can finally announce that the Best Belt Machine is making his way to Southwestern Ontario for London Comic Con 2019 this October. Omega will be available to meet fans, sign autographs, and host a special VIP video game tournament. More details and announcements are coming soon. Check out London Comic Con for more details.
Moving along, though, Chris, you gave us a preview of New Japan's show on our last episode. Do you got any results from that latest offerings from New Japan? Was it Dominion?
Yeah, let me get my smelling salts sent to me after talking about WWE here. But as far as New Japan goes, quite a few. I mean, there's the results as well as quite a few tidbits of notes to go through. So Dominion took place 6/9, so June 9th in Osaka-jo Hall. I'll quickly go through the results, and I'll go into the tidbits of news and then get Sean's opinion on kind of what's going on. Anyways, I think there was 9 matches. Still haven't seen this yet, just been busy, but I've got it on download, so I'll be able to watch it sometime soon. But anyways, John Moxley defeated Shota Umino in match number 1. Kojima lost to Takagi in match number 2. Takagi basically is one of the big talks in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. If you haven't gotten a chance to see him, YouTube him. He's like I said, nicknamed the Dragon for a reason. Third match of the night had Yoshihashi and Jushin Thunder Liger going over Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki of Suzuki Gun. Fourth match had Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Ryosuke Taguchi defeating Chase Owens, Jay White, and Taiji Ishimori of the Bullet Club. Surprise there, but it looks like they're trying to build Tanahashi again. Fifth match, never open with championship match. Tomohiro Ishii defeated Taichi on using the vertical drop brain buster. Again, I'm trying to learn to slow down when I'm talking New Japan, but it's just one of those excitement things. But anyways, Ishii takes the never openweight championship from Taichi. Sixth match of the night had the Guerrillas of Destiny, so Tamatanga and Tangaloa, sons of Haku Ming, defeating Sonata and King of Darkest Evil, so from LIJ to retain the titles. Seventh match had Will Ospreay cashing in his Best of the Super Juniors 26 briefcase, so to speak, defeating Dragon Lee for the championship. So Will Ospreay, the new champion, Aerial Assassin. And eighth match had Tetsuya Naito defeat Kota Ibushi, which was kind of surprising to me with the Destino to become the Intercontinental Champion once again. You got to go back, and if you want to see what Naito's personality is like, go back a couple of years, see when he was IC champion, that he hates that belt. But he for whatever reason, YouTube clip after the match felt it was time to take the title back. Interesting to see what they're going to do at Ibushi here, whether or not they're going to move him up. But with the talks of certain guys in AEW making their comebacks in New Japan, and Kenny Omega being one of them, be interesting to see what they do with Ibushi, and probably the pending, I'd say within a month or two of Kenny Omega to back to New Japan to see if the Golden Lovers return. And match number 9 had Kazuchika Okada defeating Chris Jericho by pinfall to retain the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Okada wasn't too happy after the match. Is looking for revenge on Jericho, even though he did retain the title. So it'll be interesting to see there. Some of the fallouts from this was G1 Climax 29 is coming up, and long time huge tournament happening over there in Japan. Two of the names mentioned for this, and I think both of them have been granted to be part of the tournament. Number one, John Moxley is taking place. Sorry, John Moxley is going to be part of this tournament. So the current IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, as well as this guy named Kenta. And for everybody that doesn't know who Kenta is, he's the former Hideo Itami as far as NXT WBE goes. So yeah, G1 Climax starting to take place. Interesting to see who's in this, because whoever's in this will not be at the show in Toronto. But obviously Moxley's all over the place right now. He's, AEW ready to make his debut. He's in New Japan. He's won a title for New Japan. He's basically taken that Dean Ambrose character and burned it to the ground, so to speak. But Sean, your thoughts on, I guess, Jericho losing to Okada, Kenta taking part in G1, as well as the rise of John Moxley, so to speak, as far as New Japan as well as AEW goes right now?
Well, as far as the Moxley thing goes, it's good to see him actually being able to be who he wants to be and have his own direction that way. Going over to New Japan gives him an opportunity to wrestle, since currently AEW does not have a